Hello, Paul. Hello, George. Hello, Ringo. Let's talk about the Beatles, the future of the Beatles. Well, we clearly know that we need to solve what's going on with the Alan Klein situation. So we need to talk about that. And clearly, Paul doesn't like Alan Klein, and clearly we don't want Lee Eastman. So we're gonna have to figure out what to do. Well, John, we could find a middleman. That'd be nice. Yeah. What about that guy who worked with Brian Epstein? What was his name? Alistair Taylor. What if we get him? Okay, John, we can get him for Apple Corporations to manage our band. So we're gonna have to work it out with Phil Spector what we're gonna do with him. How about we have him for Let It Be, and then we decide whether to get rid of him based on the positive and negative reviews. It's a good idea, George. But the thing is, we're gonna have to come up with an idea of who we're gonna have. Why not George Martin like before? Alrighty, we'll do George Martin. So we're obviously gonna have to make some concessions to Paul and George. Obviously, we're gonna have to make some we're gonna have to give some stuff up for me and Paul. I'm willing to. Well, what if we went with Paul's name Get Back for the Let It Be album? Because we're getting back to our roots where we started off back in the Cavern Club, back in the early 60s, the Cavern Club and the Hamburg clubs before they burnt condom on the wall and got deported back to the United Kingdom. Okay, George, that sounds like a great idea. But what are we gonna do for the next album after that? Is it just gonna be la-di-da and bullshit, or are we gonna do something important? Yeah. Well, John, it's not gonna be old la-di-da and bullshit. We're gonna bring in some stuff. My plan for the next album, it's gonna be named after All Things Must Pass. One of your songs. Yeah. Instead of it being named after Lennon McCartney's song, it's named after a George Harrison song. Okay, George. But it's really gonna different because the Beatles we work together in the studio, and not working in the studio means we're not really working together, you know? So let's make the album, and let's see what happens. But no, like, we're not here to say we're gonna accept these songs or that song or even an album cover yet. We're here to say what are we gonna do for the future. What we're gonna do for the future is that we're gonna put out an album. Like you said, all things must pass. And could be good for us, you know. But I really think that I'm not sure if All Things Must Pass will be a strong enough lead song, strong enough to be the title of the album. I'm just not sure. So you can make it, but I'm not gonna stand in your way of your idea of what we should do next. But we will have to evolve from being Lennon, McCartney, Harrison, Starr, from all four of us working in a studio, like you said, to Lennon in a studio, Harrison in a studio, Starr in a studio, and McCartney in a studio separate. Not because we can't be in a studio without arguing. It's because it's better artistically for all of us. No. So that's settled. All Things Must Pass will be our next album, as long as most of us approve of it, and then we'll get rid of Alan Klein and replace him with Alistair Taylor. And so that's what we're gonna do. And so yeah. Alrighty. And then we'll make our concessions to Paul. We'll have Let It Be named Get Back, and then we'll have plus Get Back seems like it's not of a Let It Be seems more of a the times of ourselves. The group is ending. That's how it feels. The group is ending. The Beatles are ending. That's how it feels. But Get Back feels like we're getting back to the the early 70s, the early 60s, excuse me. So, it's not necessarily a different album, it's a spectrized album. It's a unique Beatles album. So All Things Must Pass. Then we'll work out what happens after that, and